Okay, in this lecture, I'm going to continue with chapter 2 of Future of Illusion. And I'm going to finish my kind of introductory comments explaining the big picture of the future of an illusion. My basic point is that to understand the future of an illusion, you have to understand that it's composed, basically, you could think of it as presenting a problem and a solution. I'll call it problem one and then solution one. And then what's going to happen is that solution one ceases to work. It worked for a while, but it no longer works. So you have problem two, and then he's going to offer a solution. So basically, it's going to be problem one, solution one, solution one. When solution one no longer works, that becomes problem two, and he will then offer his solution to problem two. And so I'll make that clear by the end of this little lecture. So repeating kind of a little what I said in the last lecture, let me just go back to get the fundamental things. Civilization for Freud in this book, Future of Illusion, is at war. Its two enemies are nature, untamed nature, hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, viruses, and so on. And it's at war with the individual. Individual human beings are at war with civilization. Why? Well, because we hate it. We love it because it protects us from nature, but we also hate it because of the taboos against incest, cannibalism, and killing. And the reason Freud says we hate it because of those taboos is because these are things that unconsciously we desire to do. And to have those laws imposed on us causes a lot of discontent. Civilization now is in trouble. It's surrounded by enemies. That the first problem is civilization is in danger of being destroyed. And if it doesn't do something, it will be destroyed. So the first problem is, what does it need to do to survive? That's the problem. It's being attacked from individuals and from nature. It needs to find a solution. It can't get rid of nature, so it's gotta continually fight nature, but it can do something with individuals. It has to somehow turn enemies, individuals who hate civilization, into friends. It needs to get individuals who don't want to destroy it, who will want to build it up. So the first problem is civilization is in danger of being destroyed. What is the solution to that problem? How is it going to turn enemies into friends? The solution is to offer the individuals in society gifts, 4 gifts. Freud calls them mental assets. I'll call them bribes. You can whatever. I think that's a good way of looking at it. Bribes or gifts. Basically, what's happening is civilization is saying to the individual, I know you hate me. I know you want to destroy me, but let me see if I can give you some good things that you might like, and that you might think, well, if you take them, civilization would be worth it. So civilization is going to come up with 4 gifts, 4 bribes, and civilization is going to say, here, I'm giving you 4 presents. Is it worth the trade? You get the presents. What we get in return, what civilization gets in return, is obedience to the laws, to the taboos. And Freud says most people accept the offer and shake hands with civilization. So what are these gifts? The first one I talked about in the last lecture is morality. Basically, morality puts the external authority, the authority says, thou shalt not. It takes the external authority who says you can't commit these things. If you do, you will be punished, and it puts that authority into our mind. It's an internalization of external authority. That's our conscience. And that's good, because now we obey the law because we want to. The second mental gift, the mental asset or gift, is ideals. Society gives the individuals things to strive for, to achieve, and once we achieve those ideals, we feel good about ourselves. Different societies have different ideals. In American society, one of the ideals is to be a great athlete. When people achieve that goal, they win gold medals, or they become famous stars, and they make millions of dollars. Became famous basketball players or football players. But anyway, society and it builds up their self-esteem, and that's good. I mean, so basically, society is saying to the individual, if you're part of civilization, if you're part of society, you can then participate in different activities, and if you're good at them, you can win prizes and honors, and your esteem will go up. Nature is constantly knocking down our self-esteem because nature doesn't care about it at all. Earthquakes and hurricanes don't care about us, but civilization can create realms, like sports and education, and different in the entertainment industry, where people can become stars and gain a lot of self-esteem, feel good about themselves. You If you don't live in civilization, you can't do that. You're never going to win a gold medal at the Olympics if you're living out in the forest and you're not part of civilization. So to gain the self-esteem, you need to participate in civilization. One of the problems of that is so that's good in that sense for civilization. It unifies people, and Freud also says, for people who may not be stars, they can at least identify with the stars. So that often people they kind of worship the sports the heroes, and they vicariously enjoy their achievements. So, for example, if you're an American, if you live in America, you may not yourself be a great football player or a basketball player, but you can feel proud that you're a member of society in which there are these great players. So you can participate in the honor that other people have. Okay, that's so ideals are very important. They unify society, and that's very important for civilization because it's trying to survive. It's trying to find a defense against being destroyed by individuals. Let me talk about art. Art is also a good something that's good to give the individual, because art for Freud is substitute gratification. When you enjoy art, Freud says, you're able to enjoy these taboo desires, but in fantasy. I mean, you can't act them out in reality, but through art, you can act them out. You can experience them vicariously. That's the way Freud sees art. So that would be Freud's explanation of why in the movies, for example, there's a lot of sex and violence, because art for Freud is a means of substitute gratification, and that's good for the society, for civilization. Freud would say, because it will lessen the discontent of the individuals that make up society. Because the reason they are so discontent, Freud says, is because they are prohibited from enjoying these forbidden desires. And society has to do something to lessen that discontent, because if they become too discontent, their hatred towards society gets too strong, and society is in danger of being, overthrown. So if you can lessen this discontent from civilization standpoint, it's good. And it's also good from the standpoint of the individual, because it makes the individual more content and more uh, willing to go along with civilization and more willing to participate. So that's basically for Freud the function of art, is to offer substitute gratification, and by so doing, it's a way of defending itself from the individual. Okay. The last of the mental assets, or the bribes or the gifts, is religion, and this is the best. All of these previous ones, morality, ideals, and art, they're good, but ultimately they fail. And the reason they fail is because ultimately everyone is going to die. So every human being faces death. Ultimately, nature wins. Nature destroys us at the end. We all die. So every human being has to live with the anxiety of death. What civilization offers the individual is very important. It's the most important. It's more important than any of this other stuff here. What civilization offers the individual, Freud says, is victory over death. It offers immortality. And it presents them with the whole system. And primarily, this system is a religious system. The basic idea, Freud says, that's been in Western civilization, basically the Christian, Judeo-Christian system of reality, where we have this life and where we're basically have a soul and a body, and we have this life that we live down here, and it's full of suffering, and ultimately we die. Well, there's a lot of injustice down here. Often the good suffer, and often the very bad people prosper. So there's no justice down here, and we all suffer. But after we die, the body dies, but the soul survives. And ultimately, God is at the top, and God is in charge, basically, of everything, and God is looking out after everything. So ultimately, the bottom line is that justice will be done. There's a heaven and a hell. Justice will be done. Everything will be set right. That's basically what Freud says the religious system offers to individuals. It offers victory over death, and it offers the ultimate victory of justice. Now, Freud says that is the best present any civilization can possibly offer. It's better than all the money in the world, because even if you have all the money in the world, you're still going to die. So religion offers the best. It offers better rewards in morality, ideals, and art. So Freud basically is saying this. Civilization says to the individual, I know you hate me because of all these taboos, taboos that you can't commit, but I'm going to offer you 4 things: morality, ideals, art, religion. Basically it's going to make a deal. Do you want to shake hands? You accept the gifts on the condition that you obey the rules. And Freud says most people make the deal. They shake hands with civilization. They agree to obey the taboos against incest, cannibalism, and killing on the condition that civilization offers them these gifts: morality, ideals, art, religion. Okay, now I'm going to kind of get ahead of myself and explain what's going to happen in the rest of the book. The problem one is solution. Problem is civilization is in danger of being destroyed. It has to survive. What's the solution? The solution is to offer the individual these 4 gifts, the best being religion. And that worked, Freud said, for about 1,000 years. It started breaking apart. It started not working around 1600 when science came on the scene. And what happened, Freud says, in around 1600, science started undermining religion. So now what the claim is, that now people no longer trust the promises of religion, the promises of immortality, the promises of victory over death, because religion is eating away at the foundation of science is eating away at the foundation of religion. So for the last 300 or 400 years, Freud says, this solution is working less and less and less because science is undermining religion. Okay? That's problem 2. The problem 2 is that this solution is no longer working, and it's no longer working because science is attacking religion, the foundations of religion. Okay, that in the chapters 5, 6, and 7, and so on, he'll develop that. And the rest of the book he'll develop that. So now what's the solution? So I'm kind of I'm taking the surprise away from it, but I'll tell you what's going to happen, so it'll make it easier when you read the book. His final solution is that his solution to problem 2 is to replace religion with science. That's the solution. So the problem 1 is that civilization is in danger of being destroyed. The solution is to offer them the 4 mental assets, religion being the best. Problem 2 is that the solution is no longer working because science is undermining religion. And the solution, and I'll explain how that's going to work, the solution is to replace religion with science. So that's the big picture of the book. And I'll talk the details later.